Welcome to the second of our highlights programmes from County Armagh for more road racing action. The Tandragee 100 is the largest national road race in Northern Ireland and once again returns to calendar after major resurfacing work. This event has produced many memorable racing moments in the past, and this weekend was no different. We caught up with some familiar faces to discuss their expectations for the final day's racing. Experienced Welsh motorcycle racer Ian Locker is expected to have another successful weekend.
It's been 20 years since I raced here last, so yeah, it's going to be a bit different, but I'm looking forward to it. You know, I want to support the races anyway because I think it's a fantastic event. It's one of my favourites, you know, even back in the day. I'm just riding in the Super Twin class, so I'm riding the Mark Coverdale Team ILR Pattern 650 Twin. So yeah, as long as I'm uncompetitive and you know, I can show my best, and I haven't really got an idea of where I'm going to be really. We'll just see how it goes, how it pans out. Sometimes it works, sometimes you're not feeling it, you know, and other times it's good, so we'll see.
Manxman Marcus Simpson with the WH Racing team, he returns to Tandragee. The young talent is looking forward to this event.
You know, my first road races were on the Irish roads. This was my second road race, so it's just about having fun in a Northern Irish field. We're just building into it and just trying to get the confidence back that I lost due to some unfortunate accidents last year. So at the minute everything's going really well and the team are great, and I'm just having a great time.
Englishman Dan Ingham has had some success at the Manx Grand Prix last year and is looking to do the same at this year's event.
This is the second meeting this year, so we've only done the Northwest, and then yeah, second time out this year is here. Even though we've done the Isle of Man and you can learn that, but there's bits to pick out. I've been watching these on boards and it just all looks the same. I just couldn't learn it. I think it's all the elevation, like everything's blind, you know. And I didn't comprehend how blind it was going to be till I just went out then. And yeah, like people call it, it's mini TT in 6 miles. You know, it's fantastic.
Local rider Daryl Tweed, who won the Super Twin race, will be looking for more of the same in the classic Superbike race.
Oh, here it's awesome to have Tandragee back. It's probably my favourite circuit. So it is. It's got everything you really want there. It's got humps, jumps, bumps, and real fast corners where you're getting your knee in the deck. So it's awesome. Practice going good there. So I think I qualified third in the Supersport. So happy enough. And I think I was second on the classic Superbike. So nearly there, but a few boys in front of me yet to have to try catch.
Manxman Joe Yeardsley rides for the Scott Racing Motorcycles team as a newcomer to the event, but is certainly one to watch.
I'm riding in the Superbike class on the RSV4 1100 Scott Racing Motorcycles bike, and I'm also riding the RS660 Super Twin bike. It's 5.5 miles of jumps and bumps and all very technical stuff, blind crests, you know, everything's kind of thrown at you in this one especially, so it's been very hard to learn and definitely will take a few years to get dialed in on it.
The course works its way through tight country roads with jumps, bumps, blind corners and very fast straights. Often referred to as a mini TT, the Tandragee 100 has it all and is a favourite for many fans. Up first, the Supersport race. On pole for this race is Mike Browne. Time for the Supersports, the 600s and the next generation Supersports. Of course, the Ducati seems to be the bike to have. Michael Dunlop, though, big news from him. He's going to have to start from the back, Chris Boyd.
Yeah, trouble in qualifying for Michael Dunlop, so he starts from the very back, as you say. It is Mike Browne and Michael Sweeney in the Yamaha 1-2 at the front with Daryl Tweed filling out the first row.
Shaun Anderson, and then it's Connor Cummins on the Ducati. Then we got Stevie Tobin, Andy Farrell, Ryan Whitehall.
And then Paul Cranston, the veteran, and Michael Garn firing out row 4.
Well, another bit of drama at the start here. We've got no Michael Sweeney in the front of the front row on the number 65 bike, but Daryl Tweed, he's looking mean, as is Connor Cummins in behind him on 11.
Mike Browne then looking to make a charger of a start, and he does.
Certainly does. Let's have a look at the lap record. Supersport Michael Dunlop, 2011, yeah? 108.367, 257.522. But it's Mike Browne with Connor Cummins second, 31 Shaun Anderson fourth. In the middle of those two, Daryl Tweed again showing well.
Showing really well. Great start by Connor Cummins to get up to second and try and challenge Browne as we see Dunlop get away in the second wave.
He'll have an advantage here because he gets away from all this traffic, which he has done straight away with 91 Graham McAleese slotting in just behind him, and also number 45 in there too. he's got advantage of a clear track and not being held up.
At the moment he has, it's a 5-lap race, so he may well come across traffic later on.
Yeah, I'd say he will do, to be fair, probably about 2 or 3 laps in, because there is a certain distance between the first group going and the second group. For those who don't understand, they start the first wave and then they start the second wave, and then you can, somebody goes straight on there. I think that's Shaun Anderson. Yeah, it was Shaun Anderson on the Suzuki. He just goes a little bit straight on there at Marlakou corner. Yeah, so it's 2 waves, so the second wave couldn't be at the front.
On board with Daryl Tweed then, as we see Dunlop now already gapping the rest of that second wave, and as you say, he's now just got to get his head down and ride as hard as he can.
He's not had a bad couple of months really, 33 wins at the TT and MBE in the pocket. He's doing all right, isn't he?
He is, he's surviving, isn't he? Kevin Keys, he's going well on the Darracor racing machine as well. Good team that he's got himself in with there. Oh.
That's Andy Farrell, that is. Andy Farrell, do you know what? Andy's had some big crashes over the past couple of years, but you know what? He is a road racer.
And he's a trier, isn't he? Absolutely trier. Gives it 10 tenths every single time he's out on any of the bikes. As Mike Browne leads the way.
Just coming across you there, slotting into around that top 10 position. Ryan Whitehall, 361, 164. Stephen Tobin, you mentioned him at the start. Paul Cranston on 93. He's also in there as well. Paul, how many miles has he done around race circuits over the years? I remember him winning a Southern 100 in the early 80s. 40
plus years he's been racing, and he's still out there and still competitive.
Mike Browne, he'll obviously know they'll be giving him boards to tell him exactly where Michael Dunlop is, but on the road it's Browne, Cummins and Tweed. They're the 1, 2, 3 at the moment, but we'll be waiting for the corrected time. We've got Shaun Anderson in there as well. He made a bit of a mistake earlier on, did Shaun at Marlakou, but this is the bike we're looking for. It's Michael Dunlop into Cooley Hill Cross.
And of course you're going to have to factor him into the leaderboards as we go lap by lap, because he'll be giving that time back for the gap that he had at the start. But it is Browne who's away off out onto his second lap. He's absolutely charging here, but he probably knows that Dunlop's in that second wave, and so you can't count on the fact that you're leading on the road, because Dunlop's in this race somewhere.
Well, we mentioned Dan Neen with great affection. Dan won one of the races at the Cookstown 100 a good few years ago in the second wave. I think Bruce Anstey won an Ulster Grand Prix. Michael Dunlop's on the move, Chris Boyd.
He's up into second place overall on the race, effectively, although he's coming from further behind. He's lying in second place, 3.2 seconds down on Browne.
I know he's way up the road from him, but I bet you can still feel those Michael Dunlop eyes. Connie, look at this for a bit of a battle. 361, Ryan Whitehall in there as well. 164, Stevie Tobin in there. They're having a great battle. There's Cranston, Paul Cranston, that distinctive style that he has with the black leathers, but we are on board with the Darracor racing machine of Kevin Keys, currently holding on to 6th and 7th position, and he's just got Andy Farrell just ahead of him there now. Michael Dunlop getting into a bit of traffic there now. Number 29, Richard McLaughlin, he's got past there, and here's Connor hard on the brakes into Marlakou. Connor looks huge on that machine, doesn't he?
He does, but he rides them well. Oh, a bit of a moment there though, just it has to be said, but he does generally ride the 600s very well, and he's holding off Tweed. Of course, Browne has gone a little bit up the road, he's gapped them, but Connor Cummins is doing brilliantly in second place.
On board with Shaun there on the Suzuki. The Butterfield says Suzuki. Shaun a bit of an error into that corner a couple of laps ago, but Mike Browne dropping down into Cooley Hill Cross again on lap number 2 on the BPE by Russell Racing Yamaha. Just listen to it screaming now as he gets it on to the right hand side of the tyre. A bit slippy on the inside there, but Connor, I tell you what, Connor has got Daryl Tweed. Connor looks really racy this weekend.
Absolutely does. He's really going well here, and he's holding off Tweed, as you say. If he gets a second place, a podium, another podium at Tandragee would be tremendous.
3.5 is the gap between Michael Dunlop and Mike Browne as he went across the line on the previous lap, as our second and third place riders on the road go through, and Connor looking a little bit loose again on the Burrows Engineering RK Racing Ducati, but it's Michael Dunlop waiting to get that split. What's he got back to now? It's 3.5 the previous lap. Chris Boyd?
It's now 6.3, so it's gone out because Dunlop has hit that traffic, so the lead for Browne has gone up to 6.3 seconds.
Yeah, so there we go. So it's still the same as it was. It's Browne from Dunlop. There's Tweed just in behind. Connor Cummins, of course, and Shaun Anderson keeping a watch and brief. Now, Shaun, of course, on the 750 Suzuki. The Butterfields have skipped in Suzuki, but just in behind Michael gone there is Michael Dunlop. Let's see what sort of pace he's got. He should have a lot more pace. Just pulls to the left-hand side and nails it. And Michael Garn's just gone. What was that? Just Paul Cranston's next.
Went past him like an absolute rocket. Dunlop is making his way through the traffic, as you say, up through past Michael Garn.
Yeah, Michael Garn getting a bit of a shock of his life there. Paul Cranston will be next on the route as we follow Mike Browne in this fast and flowing race. And it's Connor Cummins still holding off Daryl Tweed, the Ducati, against the Honda. Daryl Tweed, a good rider. He's doing the IRRC as well. But Connor Cummins going well, showing well and showing good form ahead of the rest of the season.
Brilliant stuff for Connor, but Darrell, as you say, is sticking right with him. And is he going to have an opportunity? Maybe not just there, but he's certainly looking very, very racy against Connor Cummins.
We haven't mentioned Andy McAllister yet. He's in the race around about 13th to 14th at the moment. This is a battle, and Michael Dunlop's in behind the battle of because Kevin Keyes, Ryan Whitehall, Stevie Tobin, Paul Cranston. He's just got past Paul Cranston as they go into Markaloo, but now dropping down into Cooley Hill Cross is Connor Cummins at Ducati, sounding fantastic.
They're having their own private duel out on the roads at Tandragee, Cummins and Tweed, while Mike Browne was out in front, unsure of what's happening with Dunlop behind.
And he's just got past Kevin Keyes as Michael Dunlop up the inside, and now he's chasing another rider down. Not sure who's in front of Kevin Keyes. I think it's Andy Farrell from the Skerries. Wow.
They weren't behind him for long.
Turbo mode, absolute turbo mode. The man from Skerries with a bit of a shock. He let Kevin Keyes catch up a little bit, but here is Mike Browne into Bells Cross on the Yamaha.
And we'll get an idea of what that traffic has caused the Dunlop situation to be. Obviously, as we know, he's coming from the second wave, so he gets a time dispensation back for that. So he's running much further down on the road, but he gets some time back for the fact that he started on the second wave, and we're waiting to see as he comes through the start-finish just what the situation is.
Mike Browne gets both wheels aerated. The rear wheel just kicked off to the right. It was 3 point something the lap before. It was 6 seconds on this lap. So Browne from Dunlop, from Cummins and Tweed and Anderson. What's the split? Chris Boyd.
Dunlop looks to have a bit of clear road, but it's gone out again. Browne leads by 7.6 seconds now with Cummins in third. Dunlop then 7.6 seconds down. He does have some clear road, but that's a lot to find.
It is a lot to find as well. We'll keep a little eye on the pace Michael Dunlop is doing as well. He's doing the 257s, 258s at the moment. He's going to start pushing now. He's got that clear track, and he has got that Ducati. We know it's singing. We saw that at the TT. We saw that at the Northwest 200, and another Ducati that is singing is Connor Cummins, but he's still got Darrell Tweed.
That Honda is flying, isn't it? It's not giving up against the Ducati at all. He's sticking right with him as we're now on board with Shaun Anderson.
Yeah, Shaun knows his way around here, so he jumps it into Markaloo again. But Michael Dunlop, aerating that rear wheel. Their right foot comes out a la Valentina Rossi style. And as we just said before, he's got that singing. He's really trying on that machine. He really is. Connor Cummins, so he better keep an eye at him, because the Novo Gen by FAO Racing Honda of Darrell Tweed, that young Ulsterman, he's chasing the, I'm going to say, nearly veteran Connor. Could I call him that now? Will he have a word, do you think?
I'll leave that to you, Chris. Absolutely so. Mike Browne then will be getting boards that says he's got this 7 seconds lead, and now he might be able to just back it off a bit. 7 seconds you would think is enough over the lap part of this race, despite the fact that he knows it's Dunlop's pace that's coming.
Yeah, Dunlop is coming. He's, as you said, he's got a clear road there now. We're interested to see where he actually is on the road. So the first three already up and out. And here's Shaun Anderson on the Butterfields of Skipton Suzuki. I wonder if Michael Dunlop is getting anywhere near Shaun as of yet. And look how tight this is down to Cooley Hill Cross here. The revs rise. There you go. Michael Dunlop right on the back of Shaun Anderson. Will Shaun know he's there? Michael cuts to the inside, and I think Shaun knows he's there, and Shaun's led him through. That's great riding. That's a lot of experience in that head.
Yeah, just pulled over to the left and let Dunlop go. He knows he's in a slightly different race to Dunlop here. Dunlop is pushing to try and get to Browne at the race lead. It's possibly going to be too late, but nonetheless, Dunlop is going for it.
Just about at the 5 mile mark, and they drop into Bells Crossroads there now. The foot came out for Michael Dunlop again there now, and he got a little bit of traffic just past there again, but he's got past him safely, and he is tucked in. Everything is tucked in. It's Shaun Anderson. We're just watching the rear of Anderson, Browne, Dunlop, Cummins, Tweed, Anderson. That is your top 5 at the end of lap 4.
Out onto the final lap, and he has cut the gap a little bit. It's 6.4 seconds that Browne leads by now. It was over 7 on the previous lap, so Dunlop would need to find 6.4 seconds on this final 5.3 miles.
The thing you've got to look out for now, these two, Cummins and Tweed, they are going to have the eyes of Michael Dunlop drilling them. He will be using them as his target to pull him along.
He will. He'll be looking up the road, see if he can see them, and then see if he can get involved in that little battle on the road as well, although it's not his battle in the race.
Yeah, into Castle for this time then. Castle called that way because of all the bales that they have there, and it's so tight into this spot. This is about the narrowest part of the circuit. It's Michael Garn and also 93 Paul Cranston on the Kawasaki, the ZX6, the ex-McAdoo machine. He's on that there as Paul Cranston. Do you know what? He's still got it, hasn't he?
Hasn't he just? Absolutely. Look at racy and really going for it nicely. But Mike Browne at the front has it under control, I think, this race, this opening Supersport encounter.
6 and a bit seconds it was cars at the end of the start, of this last lap here for the Supersports. It is, of course, a rapid international Supersports. 6 seconds, I think, is a bit too much for Michael Dunlop to get back when Mike Browne's doing pretty similar paces anyway. But I tell you what, Chris Boyd dropping into Cooley Hill, he's flying.
He is absolutely looking racy as well, but I don't think he's going to be able to do too much as Mike Browne comes into Bell's Cross for the final time.
Across the line he goes, checkered flag goes, so this is the important part there now as the marshals come out with the red flag. He won't know he's won as of yet. He'll be stopped there by the officials. Looked like a bit of a stoppie there from Mike Browne, gets the cheers of the crowd, but it's Michael Dunlop we're looking out for. Connor Cummins second on the road, Darrell Tweed third on the road, but we're holding on obviously for Michael Dunlop to come through. Where's he going to finish? Oh, seconds by 3.5, but Chris Boyd, look at that last lap.
A new lap record for Michael Dunlop, 2:56.045, 109.276 miles per hour.
Browne from Dunlop, from Cummins, from Tweed, from Anderson, your top 5.
It was very satisfying, to be honest. You know, I got out in front there and clear road, and no better track to be off out on your own, so I was happy with that. You know, I just led my own race. I knew I had the pace to win in the first Superbike race there. We were under the lap record, so I just watched my board, and the boys were keeping an eye on Michael, obviously. But no, it's nice to get a win on a proper 600. I'm delighted for the team. I didn't have a great start to the year, so this is nice just to pay him off.
So the gauging was fine, it's just the traffic. You know, the amount of traffic you hit, and they just, with the roads being so tight here, they obviously wanted to put me in the back of the first group. I think somebody protested about that, so they put me on the second group. So you have to have a dangerous, you know, when you're catching people, and then you're catching people in real bad areas and you just lose so much time. But, you know, when I had, even the last lap, I hadn't a free lap, but I had a bit of as good a free lap, and we broke the lap record by, you know, nearly 2 seconds. So it just goes to show the pace we should have had at the front, you know what I mean? But here, look at it, it's just the way it was, the way the organisers done it.
Join us after the break for more high-speed action from County Armagh in Northern Ireland. Welcome back. Up next we have the classic Superbike race, and number 31, Shaun Anderson, he's on pole. Classic Superbikes come back to Tandragee 100 for 2025. There are those eyes of Shaun Anderson. He has put the Whiz Norton racing machine in pole position. Darrell Tweed alongside him, the Northern Irishman on number 59. And he'll be definitely one to watch. And there, Andy Hornby on the Kawasaki. Again, he could be one to watch. And Dan Sale from the Isle of Man, he's on the little 250 Yamaha. Again, can't wait to hear the sounds of that around this 5.34 mile Tandragee 100 circuit. The revs rise. Number 8 is in there as well. Anthony McColgan, Paddy McColgan as he's known on the Irish roads. On that Ducati gets a great start, but it's Darrell Tweed 59 who takes the early lead. You've seen the big puff of smoke coming out of the number 31 of Shaun Anderson off the line. They obviously run that like a 2-stroke with a little bit of oil in there just to help with the lubrification. But number 8, Paddy McColgan, in there, look at that, the ages on those guys. Paddy McColgan, 26 Dennis Booth, and 93 in there, Paul Cranston. He's got himself a classic Kawasaki ZXR 750. I'm not even going to try and guess all the ages, but the smoke in the distance is Shaun Anderson clearing up on lap number 1 of 4. Hard on the brakes for the first major corner on the circuit down at Marlaku. Oh, it's tight into there. Dennis Booth winding on the power on the ZXR 750. Kawasaki's been campaigning that for a couple of years now, and this of course is the first year of the classic Superbikes here at Tandragee. They've been at Armoy for a couple of years, and they obviously have them at the pre-TT on the Isle of Man, and that seems ages ago when we had those races. And Joe Yeardsley, I thought, might have been here on his ZXR 750, the Mistral team choosing to not come here. But at the front, it's still Shaun Anderson who has that lead, the RCW588, the Whiz Norton, and there's a move made. Yeah, good move there by Andy Hornby on the Express racing machine, but down at Cooley Hill Cross, we're back with that lead, that Norton, the RCW, we mentioned it before. Josh Brooks has ridden this, Gary Vines has ridden this, also James Hine. John McGuinness has even done a little demonstration lap on this machine, but we're getting onto the back now of number 93, Paul Cranston on the ZXR Kawasaki. There's another ZXR going round the outside of him, and there's, oh, he's got past him as well, past Paddy McColgan, so 2 in 1 for Andy Hornby. He is definitely on the move on the ZXR 750. There you see, sliding into Bell's Crossroads to complete lap number 1. Doesn't that sound great? That evocative sound, it brings you back to 1992 at the Isle of Man TT with, of course, Steve Hislop on board, but Shaun Anderson leads from 59 Daryl Tweed and number 4 Andy Hornby, and of course Daryl Tweed, local man to the circuit on the Stanley Stewart Racing. But if you're speaking about local, Shaun Anderson, how local can you get? Him and his father Howard are very, very proud members of the Tandragee 100 Club as we go into Marlaku, lap number 2. 46 Emmett Burke, a stalwart to the Irish road racing scene, and just there, we mentioned him at the start, didn't we? He's on the 250. Dan Sale, the man from Sulby in the Isle of Man, many times a TT winner. He's back on the 2 strokes on the 250 again, in and out of Cooley Hill Cross. So bumpy down that downhill section. You've got to be really, really careful on the brakes. Daryl Tweed, the yellow and black Yamaha, go through, but here he is, your race leader. Let's have a little listen to him as he just went out shot there, but it's 59 Daryl Tweed. Oh, a little look over the shoulder. I think he's quite comfortable. Oh, he's not though. Here comes Andy Hornby. You better not let Andy Hornby have a sniff, because Andy Hornby on his ZXR 750, he could be one to watch. Final time then for Shaun Anderson. Those eyes looking through the showy helmet, the clear visor that he's got in, and not brilliant conditions, but it's pretty good for racing. Shaun Anderson, of course, will be setting a new lap record no matter what the quickest lap is of the races, because this is the first time that this class has been at the Tandragee 100, and there he goes across the line, a new lap record of 103.030, 3 minutes 6.717, 103.030, and winning number 31 Shaun Anderson by 20 seconds from number 59 Daryl Tweed, with number 4 Andy Hornby in 3rd. Join us after this short break. We still have lots more racing to come. Welcome back to County Armagh for the Tandragee 100. Next up is the lightweight. Joining me in commentary box, Chris Boyd.
All set for this lightweight race then. We've got Shaun Anderson, who's going to be one of the first men away, because no Daryl Tweed on pole, as we can see, Chris.
Yeah, Stevie Tobin completes that front row on 164. Then it's number 7 Dave Walsh on that lovely Kramer, and then Manx rider Dan Sale on the Honda.
Then Chris Meyer sets up row 3 with Kyle Parks and Owen Monaghan.
And row 4, Gareth Arnold and Mark Johnson. As you see, big gap at the front there. No Daryl Tweed, must have been the pre-race favourite, but there he goes, Shaun Anderson. He will be one to watch on the CB Racing, and for those watching, the CB Racing is Cleaver Browne Racing.
Tobin makes the first move, then away, and number 164, he gets away first, but Anderson is going to be right behind him. As you say, one to watch. What a course this is.
Absolutely, big jumps and yumps and all sorts of things going on. So Stevie Tobin, 164, 31, that's Shaun Anderson. Dave Walsh made a good start, he's dropping back a little bit, but Chris, 4 classes in one as the second wave just about to leave us there now. Number 40, Michael Hoey on pole for that, and he gets a good start alongside the number 8 machine in there. That's Anthony Paddy McGolgan.
Absolutely, 2 waves away, as you say, 4 classes in this, and so we're going to have to watch as these leaderboards unfold all the way through this race.
Lee Osprey riding for the local team, Tryson McMullen Racing. Tryson, of course, involved a lot in the Armoy road races, but it will be Shaun Anderson, the man we're going to have a little look out for. Classic 250s, absolutely beautiful sound. We love them when they're at the Classic TT, and around here, the Irish fans, they love a good 250, don't they?
Anderson already having a look at Tobin as they head up into Marlaku corner.
Yeah, just in behind them is the Manx rider, Dan Sale on the 88 by. Look at that by there, 122 Chris Meyer, the German rider. He's had a couple of wins around here, and just ahead there, he rode really well at the pre-T2. This Owen Monaghan, he's on a little 125 Honda. Chris, look at the jumps and the bumps of this. It's wide open here, but it's going to get narrow, as you'll see through the laps, as we have number 40 coming in here, of course, as leading. The second wave away was number 40, Mike Hoey on his little Kawasaki 400. And look how bouncy it is. Look at them all, the little 400s just bouncing in on the brakes. This is Irish road racing.
Absolutely, all on the brakes into corners, just trying to scrabble through and get all the way through, and then we get onto narrower pieces of road, as you say, narrower and wider. A tremendous circuit this is.
164 there, Stevie Tobin dropping down into Cooley Hill Cross. He's got Dan Sale, he's got Owen Monaghan in there as well. This little Tryson McMullen 300cc Kawasaki. It's a big class in there now, but your race leader Shaun Anderson stamping his class on this.
Anderson has grabbed the lead by the end of the opening lap. He heads away now, he's got clear track behind behind him, so he's overhauled Tobin at the end of that opening lap.
Dan Sale sliding into third place. If we look at that from the individual classes, that'll mean Anderson leads the 250s, Tobin will lead the 400s, Sale will be leading the Moto 3s, and it will be, of course, leading the 300 class, number 45, Lee Osprey.
Who has our camera on board as well, giving us tremendous views off this Tandragee circuit, the 5-mile circuit that we're seeing here as we now see. I think that's
Kyle Parks, number 6, goes through, just everything tucked in. You've got to use every advantage on these Moto 3s, you really, really do. But I think Shaun Anderson, he showed his class. I mean, a big tumble at the TT only a couple of weeks ago, do you remember, on the climb up the mountain there? But he's coming to grips with this 250, and of course he's got a big involvement with the Tandragee club as well, with him and his father and family involved.
Absolutely, all family knit affair in Irish road racing circles. Tobin's doing his best to try and stay with him, but the pace of this 250, just Anderson's just eking away and away the whole time.
This is a good battle between 16 Monaghan, 122 Maya and Lee Osprey just on the back of there now on the number 45 bike. Hang on, what's going up here? So Chris Meyer has gone up the inside of, Owen Monaghan is going round the outside of him. That was some ballsy move, that, wasn't it?
Right round the outside, and he stuck with it. He just stuck with it the whole way. He knew he had the road to play with as well.
This part of the circuit here now is down to Cooley Hill Cross. You've got to be really difficult down there. The bike changes. The bike wants to tip up as you start to brake, but he's got it in the baggie. He really has, Shaun Anderson. That Cleaver Brand 250 Honda, I mean, such a great machine, but trying to get parts of them now, that must be the hard part, mustn't it?
Yeah, keeping them on the road is the big thing, but he's halfway through this race now. 2 of the 4 laps done for Anderson as he heads into the 3rd lap.
The end of the 3rd lap through Bell's Crossroads, and all the fans, a big crowd there at Tandragee 100. So great to have it back on the calendar after a good 3 or 4 year absence anyway, but he's already got a pretty good lead as we continue this battle. This is Chris Meyer on board with again 122 with Owen Monaghan just ahead in there, and Lee Osprey I'm sure will be sniffing, but there's Tobin in Sale. Dan Sale's a good fist of this, isn't he?
He is that. He's not giving it up at all, is he? He's sticking right with Tobin, and in fact the crowds are getting tremendous value here because there's plenty of close dicing going on in this lightweight race.
You've seen the circuit before, but now you're seeing it up close and personal. There's some tight corners around here, and you can see the conditions aren't perfect. Shaun's got the clear visor on. You can see those eyes piercing, can't you?
You know, very damp early on and drying up as the day has gone on, and we've got pretty good conditions now, it looks like.
Yeah, 21 just going through Robert O'Neill with Gary Jordan just in behind him as well. Number 7 also in there as well, Dave Walsh. Dave going second at the moment in the Classic GP side. Dave's been riding on the Irish roads for as long as I can remember, and that's a long time.
Experience counts though, doesn't it? So yeah, Dave second to Shaun Anderson in that 250 class, but Shaun away out front and takes the checkered flag.
He certainly does, with a new lap record, 95.968 for Shaun. That's a 3-minute 20.4, and he of course wins the Classic GPs from Dave Walsh and Stevie Boys. Well done to him.
In the lightweight Supersport, it was Stephen Tobin who took the win from Richard Ford and Michael Hoey.
Yeah, Roy Worston there as well on the NLW Racing Kawasaki. James Rothley unfortunately didn't finish, but Dan Sale a win on the Moto 3 for Owen Monaghan and Chris Meyer, with Kyle Parks coming on a good 4th, and another Manx rider, Gareth Arnold, he was in 5th position.
And in the Supersport 300s, Lee Osprey takes the win from Mark Johnson, with Anthony McColgan in 3rd and Linton Irwin taking 4th. Incredible racing and more still to come. Up next we have the senior support race.
This is the Woods Super Value Tandragee Senior Support. They had a race yesterday, and this man we are on board with. It is, of course, Sean Brolly on the 99 machine. He's on pole. Ducati 215 James Doyle, 36 Kevin Lavery, Kevin Canny on 32, and Sean Buckle 28. Then we've got Will Birchall 49, Michael McCann 94, James Walsh 87, Brett McCallum 101, and Michael Clyde 899. Reds rise. Away we go. Great start by the pole man Sean Brolly. He should have the legs on these with that 955 Ducati. Slotting into second place at 215 James Doyle, and then 36 in there Kevin Lavery, who we said of course finished second in the first race, the Bird Senior Support non-championship race on the Friday evening. But Sean Brolly in there, not really perfect conditions to be fair, as he makes away into the far side of the circuit there now. Going to be dropping to Marlaku. Number 136 on pole for the second group, John O'Donovan. I've just had a quick look back at the lap record to this. This goes back to 2016, the senior support. Joe Newbold has that on the Kawasaki 600, 101.816. Will we get anywhere near that today? Just a quick pick out some numbers there. Number 111, give him a mention, Noel Smith, but as our leader, Sean Brolly, who has the lead going up to Marlaku on lap number 1. 28 Sean Buckle on the Yamaha 600. Sean finishing 6th place on the first race of these guys, and these guys just bumping and boring a little bit. Oh, that doesn't half look pretty damp there now as they wind the way into the countryside. Very, very wet. You can see the way the tarmac changes, the rear wheel just spinning up a little bit on that 955 Ducati, and you've got to say with the 955 having all that torque, maybe that could help him out. Number 40 just seeing shot. Michael Hoey there. Michael on the GSXR 600 Suzuki. Michael's nice and steady through there. Ooh, somebody just running a little bit wide, nearly up on the grass there now. And isn't this a fantastic shot? This is what Irish road racing is all about. And this will be on the drop down to Cooley Hill Cross. It's a great part of the circuit. It goes really, really downhill, and then it's hard on the brakes, and then sling the bike to the right, and then hard on the gas for your leader, your race leader, number 99, Shaun Brolly. And here he comes to complete lap number 1. And he's got a pretty good, just running just a little bit deep there. Does he have a little look over the shoulder? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a little look at all. Who's in second place? Looks like 36, Kevin Lavery, I think it is, in second. So he's about 3 seconds back, I'd have to say, with Doy in third, Buckle in fourth, and Birchwood, 2.154. Then it's another 3.8 back to Doy, then another 2 seconds back to Buckle. So again, lap number 2, it's only a 4-lapper. He's going to have to keep a little eye on this. Stuart McCann, 23. Stuart, of course, the son of a legendary Irish commentator, and I'm sure his family won't mind me saying that, of George McCann, runs a little bit wide there into Bell's Crossroads. But here's your leader. Listen to that Ducati, very similar to the machine Michael Dunlop will be running a bit later on, and of course Connor Cummins, lovely 955 Ducati as we follow the leaders. And again, we mentioned it before from the high drone shot, that's Irish road racing. It's like the whoops and bumps of a motocross circuit. Just hear the circuit commentator there, Gareth Keys. There he is, Shaun Brolly, in and out of Cooley Hill Cross once again. Keep a little eye on some of the back markers. Noel Smith in there as well, 56, just up the inside of 29. Gary Jordan, that's of course 156, Jordan Larkin. But Shaun Brolly on his final lap with a pretty unassailable lead. And he's putting the pace on, isn't he? Considering we looked at the conditions earlier on, it didn't look great. But here he is, hard on the brakes, and I think he's going to have this one in the bag to take the checkered flag. Shaun Brolly across the line in the Woods Super Value Tandragee Sweeney support, and a new lap record, 103.376 for Shaun Brolly on the final circuit, a 3:06.092, winning by 10.6 seconds from number 36 Kevin Lavery, number 215 James Doy, number 87 James Walsh, and number 49 Will Birchall, your top 5. We have to take a short break, but up next, it's the big one, the Tandragee 100 feature race. Welcome back to Northern Ireland in County Armagh. Next up is the feature race, which countless legends have sought to be crowned the winner here at Tandragee. And Michael Dunlop, he is on pole. The final race of the 2025 Around a Pound Tandragee 100 is, of course, the Around a Pound Tandragee 100 Superbike race. I am looking forward to this one. Michael Sweeney, though, in the first race broke Dan Neen's old lap record, and he'll be one of the favourites in this one, Chris Boyd.
One of many. It's an absolute thriller in store, I think. Michael Dunlop, Michael Sweeney and Mike Browne on the front row, then Connor Cummins and Shaun Anderson on row 2.
Let's look at row number 3. Marcus Simpson, the Manx rider, Joe Yurds, the other Manxman, with Neil Kernahan and Ryan Whitehall and Andy Farrell completing row 4.
Then on row 5 we have Stephen Tobin, Barry Ferbert and Kevin Keyes, and on row 6 Paul Cranston and Michael Gahan.
Then we go to row 7, Richard McLaughlin on bike 29 completes the first wave of riders. Here we go, 5.3 miles around this Tandragee 100 circuit. Wow, big wheelie for Mick O'Sweeney, but it looks to me like Michael Dunlop has the lead, he does. Shaun Anderson slots in the third, and then it is the RK Racing, the Burrows team of Connor Cummins. He slots in the 4th place. Michael Dunlop out of the seat. Drama on the first lap. We're only a third of the way in.
Pushing right from the start, Sweeney got that huge wheelie as the second wave gets underway, and that'll allow Dunlop to get away and grab a lead. Can Sweeney and the rest stick with him?
On board with Daniel Ingham on 35, it was number 44 Liam Chalk who was on pole position for the second wave, but we're going to go back at the front. You hear the whistles go in the background, the leaders are on the way, and it's Michael Dunlop into Marlaku corner for lap number 1 with Michael Sweeney 65 in second place. Then it's 11 Connor Cummins in third, then it's Shaun Anderson in there, Marcus Simpson in there too, and a pretty good start I think by 361 Ryan Whitehall has also win there as well. But look how close Michael Sweeney and Michael Dunlop was off the line. That's close.
Sweeney got the wheel lit, and then Dunlop just moved right across just to cut him off. He was making sure he had the lead heading away from the start. Very early stages of a race that dates back to 1958.
Yeah, the Daracore Racing Honda of Kevin Keyes, he's put on a good performance here at the Tandragee 100, and I said he's going to be making his Southern 100 debut on the Isle of Man in a couple of weeks' time as well. He's definitely looking forward to that, but that's a great shot. That is Irish road racing, narrow through the hedges, the trees there, the walls, and all the protective stuff, and these guys hurtling through at 170 at 180 mile an hour as Conor Cummins gets right out of the seat.
And noticeably drier roads now than it was in the earlier open race. Bone dry conditions, absolutely perfect to go racing.
Michael Sweeney having a lot of handling problems at the Isle of Man TT a couple of months ago, but he seems to got that settled now on the MJR racing machine. But it's Michael Dunlop, he's keeping him honest. Michael Sweeney is definitely keeping him honest, as is Conor Cummins and Shaun Anderson. They're battling like they did in the first Superbike race.
Yeah, we've got two scraps going on, Dunlop and Sweeney, Cummins and Anderson, and we want Sweeney to keep Dunlop honest. We want an absolute tear-up for the Tandragee 100.
Certainly do. We've got Kevin Keyes in there, Ryan Whitehall 36180, Barry Ferber 222, Michael Gone 29, Rich McLaughlin, Dermot Cleary on 129, 139 even, and 93 the evergreen Paul Cranston, going more miles around the Irish roads. But it's Michael Dunlop who leads just about leads on lap number 1 as they go into Bell's Crossroads for lap 1. Michael Sweeney though, there's nothing between them. We'll get the graphic in a minute as Connor's there. Connor's staying pretty close as well, and I think that was Sweeney with a move possibly. We'll get that confirmed. But number 5 Kevin Keyes, oh, that's a great move up the inside of Barry Ferber, isn't it?
That was for 8th and 9th. Keyes in 8th, Ferber in 9th, and I actually say terrific move, but it's at the front that we're really wanting to see here. Did Sweeney make that move on Dunlop? It looked like he maybe had to just back out of it, but we'll see when we next pick them up.
109 Neil Kernahan in there as well. Neil going well as he always does on the R1 Yamaha. He's got a new Aprilia RS660 for the Super Twin class this year, has Neil. But there's Barry Ferber again, out on the big bike this time. Always good on the Super Twins is Barry Ferber, but that is a great camera shot, and you just see how hard that rear tyre is having to work, the suspension working so hard to keep traction.
Barry Ferber's had plenty of laps in across the day, and he's using those to full advantage here as he tries to close in on Kevin Keyes, who himself has had a great day so far racing here at Tandragee.
So it was Michael Dunlop, we're keeping a little line, but it was Michael Sweeney who got that lap record in the first Superbike race. Ooh, somebody just running out, yeah, underneath there. Kevin Keyes getting underneath Neil Kernahan. This is a repeat, these three, of the first Superbike race, but it is Michael Dunlop that leads into Bell's Cross, lap number 2.
Dunlop then, as you say, leading out onto lap 3, and it's a new lap record for Michael Dunlop, outright lap record, 2 minutes 54.1, 1.1 seconds quicker than Michael Sweeney was in the open race earlier in the day. Sweeney is also inside his old lap record that had only lasted a few hours.
1.1 seconds, incredible. That BMW is absolutely flying. So Conor Cummins, he's got Shaun Anderson for company now. Conor in 3rd, Shaun Anderson number 31, he's in 4th, and we got Marcus Simpson, Kevin Keyes, Ryan Whitehall, Barry Ferber, Michael Gone and Richard McLaughlin completing your top 10. And there is Ryan Whitehall just ahead of Kevin Keyes here at the Tandragee 100 for 2025. But Michael Dunlop pulling a little lead into Marlaku.
He is, but Sweeney's not letting him go again. Sweeney's trying to stick with him as best he can. Gets the head down again out onto the flap as we see this huge battle as well just behind for 3rd and 4th between Cummins and Anderson. They're having a terrific scrap.
Yeah, Suzuki against the BMW, the Burroughs RK racing machine of the Manxman, the Ramsey Rocket, Conor Cummins. But Shaun Anderson knows his way around these streets, tracks, these, what do you call it, farm lanes around the Tandragee 100. He was brought up not far away from the village.
Cummins then is doing very well, bringing his knowledge from the Isle of Man across to Tandragee on the Burroughs machine, as we see Dunlop and Sweeney still right together as they head out onto the narrow part of this course.
Yeah, only a couple of points between them as they go into Castle this time. Connor with that BMW nicely planted on the brakes there. No squirrely stuff, but Shaun Anderson, he's sniffing. We got number 139 just gone through there. Dermot Cleary, we got 35 and we got 91. 91, of course, is Graham McAleese, and also 35 in there, Daniel Ingham. We've got a retirement, Chris.
For Graham McAleese, as Michael Dunlop comes to reach half distance, he is gapping Sweeney a little bit. Dunlop through and out onto the 4th lap, but it's Sweeney with a new outright lap record. record. The lap record only lasted 2 minutes 55 seconds. It's now 2:53.3, and Dunlop was inside what he had done on the previous lap as well. This is amazing.
Michael with two wheels in the air as they go across the jumps there now as he settled the bikes up again. The left-hander and the rear tyre was kicking up there. You could see it kicking up stones as he tried to scrabble for grip.
Cummins and Anderson still having their battle for third and fourth. Cummins maybe just moving a little bit clear of Anderson, then Marcus Simpson and Brian Whitehall rounding out the top six at half distance.
Sounded to me as Connor went into that corner, he had a little bit of a problem there, seemed to miss a gear, maybe a false neutral, but it has let Shaun Anderson through, and here's a good battle between you two young guns, Kevin Keyes and Ryan Whitehall. Ryan, of course, from the Isle of Wight. Kevin, of course, Southern Irishman, great rider, is good young talent coming through.
Yeah, a name to really watch out for, Kevin Keyes. He's been doing great guns all year really, and today is proving that as well. As we now see, Anderson is definitely ahead of Cummins.
Yeah, it did seem to me he did just miss a gear, or maybe just get into a false neutral going through that very, very fast section and lost the run. But what has Michael Sweeney got in reply to Michael Dunlop, Chris Boyd? What do you think?
Well, Sweeney just set the new outright lap record at 2:53.3 on lap 3. Where it'll last to the end of the race even, we don't know, because Dunlop looks to have the power absolutely on.
2 seconds is off the old Dan Neen lap record from 2018, 2:55.5. But Connor Cummins is not giving up on that podium slot as they go into Castle, where Shaun Anderson went straight on earlier on in the day in the classic Superbike race. But Michael Dunlop, as he dropped down into Cooley Hill, I think he's got this one under control, hasn't he? I can't see Michael Sweeney in the shot behind him.
No, it looks like that Dunlop lead is now safe really, and he can ride his way to the finish from here. But we'll just see what happens in this battle between Anderson and Cummins for the final podium place.
You look back at what he did at the TT when he was miles in. Oh, he'll just have to back it off a little bit. No, charge, charge, charge. It's all that he knows. And that is a great shot of Connor there with the Conrad coffee on the side of his crash helmet. You just see how hard his neck muscles are working there, stretching. And that is a good couple of seconds now that Michael Dunlop has over Mikko Sweeney. He's got this one in the bag, hasn't he?
You'd think so, but you never count your chickens in road racing, do you? So Dunlop is away and off onto the next lap. Sweeney then holding on to second, and then we wait to see what's happening in this battle between Anderson and Cummins.
Two wheels, two wheels and sideways for Michael Dunlop. He pops out the bubble. You can see the program's waving on both sides of the circuit here now. So Dunlop, Sweeney, Anderson with Connor Cummins drifting the machine.
And that lap 5 was another new lap record for Michael Dunlop, a 2:52.4, 3.1 seconds inside of the old Dan Neen record from 2018.
That is some pace, isn't it? I know bikes have moved on a little bit, but that is amazing. Michael Dunlop, MBE, in control of the Tandragee 100 feature race.
And this, of course, is a super stock, essentially. It's a super stock he rode at the TT. He did have a separate super bike. This is the super stock machine that he's on.
Shaun Anderson coming through, then bouncing towards us again on the number 31 bike into Marlaku with Connor Cummins still keeping him honest. Just behind him there is Connor, the red rain light you can just see in the background, and we're on board on the WH Racing powered by Dyno Bike Machine, the Honda of Marcus Simpson, as he drops into Marlaku. Earlier on in the day there's a little damp patch on the inside there, that's thankfully now gone, and it's Marcus Simpson putting on a good show as always.
Fantastic top 5 for Simpson. When you're behind Dunlop, Sweeney, Cummins and Anderson, you know you're in good company.
And this man Kevin Keyes at the moment in round about 6th position, sounding good on the Honda. Had a good long chat with him at the Isle of Man TT a couple of months ago, and yeah, very focused, knows where he wants to go, and he wants to do all the roads he can.
Dunlop now riding to the checkered flag. You would imagine he might just back it off. Well, you don't know. We'll have to wait for the times at the end of this final lap, because it is Michael Dunlop, but you'd think he'd have signals that say he's got this well in hand.
Seeing his pit man Gary Ryan chuck the board out to him at the beginning of the last lap there to tell him exactly where he's going to be. Look at that, close to the hedge, flicks it to the right, just tidies the bike up, settles it down, the front wheel just chatters away. I can hear the crowd cheering in the background. That is the affection that Michael Dunlop has over the roads as we're on the far side of the circuit with Connor Cummins now. He's chasing down Shaun Anderson. You can see the orangey yellow colour on the back of Shaun Anderson, and it's dropping down to Cooley Hill Cross this time, and I tell you, Connor's not giving this up, is he?
He's not. He just needs an opportunity, any slip by Shaun Anderson, and he will see if he can grab that final spot on the podium as Dunlop comes to take the checkered flag and victory in the around a pound Tandragee 100.
Takes a long look over his shoulder and looks to see where the rest of them are, but Michael Dunlop, a late entry to the event, but this is not finished yet. We'll go to the second and third place in a second. Connor Cummins going a long way round, is he? Oh, literally the long way round, straight on. Straight on, it will be Shaun Anderson. Hey, that's a good third place for Shaun. So Connor hopefully going to do a 55-point turn and get the bike home in that fourth position, or maybe even lower than that. We'll get it confirmed where he is. Yep, there he goes across the line, Connor. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with that, but a good showing ahead of the Southern 100.
Michael Dunlop then your winner with a new outright lap record, 8 seconds ahead of Michael Sweeney in the battle of the BMW. Shaun Anderson on the Suzuki in third.
Then it's Cummins, Simpson, Keys, Whitehall, Furbergarn and McLaughlin, your top 10.
Obviously Michael set a good pace earlier on in the first Superbike race, and I knew he'd be there, so I knew he wanted to be tagged along to the next one, and I seen he was still there, and I said, all right, I'm going to do a lap here, and then just put a wee bit of a gap into it. So I was going to go for another lap in the last lap for the crack, but I just didn't bother. We've had an issue again, so we had to nurse her.
Unbelievable. Look at Stephen, I never got two-wheel slides before in my life, and then following him doing that speed that's on my dash, yeah, we got a lot of them. And first time I experienced something like that with two real big two-wheel slides. And I suppose that's what you're going to have to do to try and keep it Michael. But look, I've done my best, and it's all I could do. It's always nice to be on the podium, stand beside Michael. You know what I mean? And you know, all the Dunlops, we've stood on the podium with William as well, and it's special to stand with them boys. You know, and to be second and close to him as I was in the first race, I'm really happy with that.
After a dominant weekend here at Tandragee, Michael Dunlop moves to the top of the King of the Road points, 113. Davey Todd on 70, Michael Sweeney third on 66.
Fantastic racing for Michael Dunlop and Michael Sweeney, but sadly that's all we have time for. But the King of the Roads continues at the Southern 100. See you very soon for more close racing.